any incredible damage in Florida, but as you know, the Bahamas was not. So praying that the Bahamas gets all the relief and the rebuilding that they need, and Puerto Rico does too, which is very behind. So let's talk about what I mean by knowledge is power for the paralegal. Um, One of the things that I find interesting is that when people are interested in this field, and I ask the question, what area of law are you interested in? If this was asked of me when I was right before I broke in, I would have no clue what they were talking about. I wouldn't have even thought about it because I knew zero about this field. I figured, I thought maybe I'd be working on wills and legal docs like that in that field. I had no idea what the law firm did that I ended up in until I was there for a little while and it all started to make sense. But what I'd like you to do as a total newbie to the paralegal career is start to research on Google different areas of law that paralegals work in. And you can put that in Google, areas of law paralegals work in. Put that in the search area, okay, the search bar, and go look at different areas. You might look at criminal law, personal injury law, find out, and family law. Find out what paralegals do as much as you can on a day in, day out basis. Then ask yourself this question: why do I want to go into this field? That's your why. Why do I want to go into that area of law? Whatever it is you're looking at, and you start to realize that this really makes you happy, that it would keep you interested day in, day out. Ask yourself, what are you looking for? Are you looking to build yourself a career, or are you looking for a 9-to-5 job and a paycheck? Well, most of us are looking for a paycheck, but I want to do something interesting and not be bored. Now, there are times in my life when a tragedy occurred in my life and I lost a loved one very unexpectedly, that I liked having boredom at my job, that it will be like settled and non-chaotic because of the chaos that was reigning in my life. Or if your life is super busy with young children, I would not have wanted my life to be complicated during that time with a stressful job, because I had enough going on at the house with the kids. Hello, how are you, Lady Crystal? Yay, congratulations. Lady Crystal said she got a second interview. That's true. That's fantastic. So I want you to do your homework. Knowledge is power. The more knowledge you have about an area of law, this is about you. This is not about the employer, although you want to have the skill sets and the knowledge that they need. But this is to ultimately make you happy and satisfied and fulfilled. If you're none of those things in your first legal job that you land, and you find out that, oh, maybe I made a mistake, and well, it might be the area of law, not the career itself, but the area of law that you landed in. I was happy in the area of law I landed in, but I needed to have more responsibility, and I needed to learn more at a faster pace. That's just me. My kids at that point were 13 and 15. So in 2 years from that point, my daughter, or 2.5, my daughter would be leaving to go to school in Florida. I was living in Oklahoma with my family. And so I only had them for a short time, but at that point, but I wasn't dealing with small children where I had to worry. My kids were never sick, thank goodness. And so my husband was closer in his job to the school in case they needed something, where I was a good 40 miles away, which made me uneasy. But they were older. And I was a stay-at-home mom for 7 years, and then owned my own business for 4, and then tried some other jobs, not too long, the first job. Then I started to think about and went into the second job. do I like these areas of law? And I started to think about what I needed. I want you to do that for yourself. The more you learn about different areas of law and you dive in deeply to them, especially if you like it, then you will want to learn more about it. If you find yourself not wanting to learn more about areas of law, then ask yourself why you're looking at that career. It can't just be about this, the money, because you won't be making any the first 2 to 3 years. So if you can make that sacrifice and that still is enticing to you to go into the career, then go for it. The more you understand about how to do the interview properly, how to create the cover letter and the resume properly, what knowledge do you need to have? What knowledge do you need to have um, in order to ace that interview? One of the things you have to be able to explain is how you're going to help that attorney. How will you assist that attorney? What do you have that attorney can utilize smoothly? They're not going to train you, even if they say that. They will be frustrated after 2 weeks of training because they're not meant to be teachers. And in one case, it was 2 weeks with one of my students. Another case, it was 4 weeks with one of my students who firmly believed that the law firm meant that they were going to train them. When they did that for 2 weeks, and in one case 4 weeks, and then they gave up because they felt that my student wasn't learning, or in some cases it wasn't my student, it was a reader of a member of my Paralegal Coffee Talk page. And that was a letdown for these people because it wasn't a nice feeling to be called, not names, but to be handled as if they weren't bright when they are. And that's a failing within the law firm and the people teaching them. So understand, the more you know, the more powerful and empowered you will be. Okay? So remember that as you go forward. Don't just think they're going to spoon feed you all this knowledge. They're not. You're going to have to run like the wind and run by the seat of your pants, fly by the seat of your pants. And you know what? If I had, first of all, the internet was in its infancy stages when I came into this field. And by the time, it was really when I moved to Florida that it went crazy and exploded. And then things were being placed online where I could do research and search for things that I needed online, where I could look for jobs online instead of the newspaper. Yeah. There were none of those things when I started. And the computer systems were like fossils. They were ridiculous. Nobody in the legal field had Apple Macintosh, which was really cutting edge. We had IBM PCs. So I had to learn, everything from the bottom up in the law firm. And I had 2 mentors, which was a huge blessing. But in most cases, you don't have that. So you've got to learn before you jump in. Okay. And yes, you overcome a lot of fear hurdles. You'll overcome and feel more powerful the more you learn now before you go in and just land a job. And then you think they're going to have a classroom they're going to teach you in, and they don't do that. Okay. Not for long. All right. So if you are not in the legal field right now, become a member of my Facebook Paralegal Break-In group. And this means you're not a paralegal, you're not a legal secretary, you're not a legal receptionist, you're not a file clerk, you're not working in the legal field. Don't know how else to say that. So go to Facebook Paralegal Break-In and answer the questions when you ask to join. Okay, answer the questions, because we're going to do a special teaching in just a little while on contract law. Okay, and that's good to learn, and there might be a part two. I'm going to do an overview and give you parts of a contract and all of that, but some other things too. And you write that down, and then it's not homework. It's just that I'd like you to investigate it and build your own notebook. You know, put your notes, write all your stuff down in a notebook, put it in a folder called contract law, and just add that to your repertoire. So yeah, go to Facebook, Lady Crystal, and look for Paralegal Break-In, and answer the questions there. And then we're going to do that in just a little while. Okay, now it will be in there on replay as well. So it's always good to add different areas of law to what I call your repertoire, your knowledge bank. Remember what the title of this video is. Knowledge is power for the paralegal. Make your career, remember, I'm not calling it a 9-to-5 job. Make your career ultra flexible by knowing as much as you can. Okay? And don't leave it to other people to manage your career. Manage it yourself. Yeah, I know it's tough love. But when you sit back and it's based in fear and doubt, totally understand that. I deal with that myself, and negative self-talk and saying you're not capable of this. Well, most of you, I would venture to say, are capable of it. Maybe you need to up your game in the area of Microsoft Word and that type of thing. Again, knowledge is power. Maybe your skills need brushing up in the area of Microsoft Word. Maybe you need to go, I'm sorry for that beeping. Maybe you need to go further than basic Microsoft Word, okay? Let me see what else. So you've got your techie skills, which is software. You need to up that game, then do it. You need to type faster than, 45 words a minute, then take typing tests online over and over and over again until your fingers are sore and you need a break. So just do it, as Nike says, right? Oh, you're so welcome. I'm trying to see your name. Is it Moza? I've got a glare on here. Thank you for saying that. I'm glad you're here. I cannot stress enough that if you can, join us for the paralegal. Good. Glad I got that right. I developed this course for you guys because I teach those things in there that you need to know and have legal knowledge about. You notice I'm not saying experience. When you can convince an attorney that you know enough about the subject, boy, you've won a big battle. But you have to know about the subject. And what is that subject? The law. And I don't mean studying statutes, although that doesn't hurt. But we're going to talk about that today, about contracts, okay? And I'm going to teach you some things about research. So be sure, Moza, be sure that you come over to Facebook and look for Paralegal Break-In, my group. Answer the questions when you ask to join. You have to answer the questions. And you don't have to give me your email address unless you want to. That's not like a, that thing that you must do. It's not mandatory. But you get to be on my newsletter then. I just sent out a newsletter yesterday. I'm going to send out another one, I hope tonight if I can, with different. I'm going to sign off for now. I'm going to get my paperwork together so I can teach that class before I go back to my work, okay? All right, so have a great day, and I'll hopefully see you in the group. And for those watching this video on replay, come join the Paralegal Break-In group on Facebook and watch that replay. Okay, and there might be a part two, I'm not sure yet, and we will go from there. So yeah. And Moza, if you know other students, they should come in as well. If you're friendly with some of the other students in your course, tell them too, because there will be training in there regularly. Okay. And this is the same training I'm doing today. I will be teaching my private groups. I have 2 private groups for people who took my course in May and June. And in 10 days from today, you can be sure to check out my website, paralegalcoffeetalk.com, where there are complimentary items there at the top. And you'll see a free chapter of my book, Legal Break-In, which is on Amazon in in book form and Kindle, but you can get a free chapter. And let's see, you need to get this list, 19 alternative paralegal careers list. That it'll say it right on my website at the top. And then you want to learn more about the course, then go look at Paralegal Inner Circle class info and get on the wait list for that, because this is the last launch for this year and won't launch again till 2020 sometime. Okay, I had 2 groups going. I had 3 people from my May class all land jobs within I guess about 5 weeks after doing the class. Yeah, invite your other friends, Lady Crystal and Moza. I would appreciate it, and it'll be good for them to learn this area of law, because you never know how it may come in handy down the road. And then you keep your notes from it in this right here, a folder. Take notes. Get used to taking notes if you're not. You will be doing that in your career all the time. Okay? Remember, you're the problem solver, you're the researcher, you're the everything in that law firm, pretty much. Okay? All right, so take care. Thank you so much, Lady Crystal and Moza, for being here, and anybody else who was here with me live. Loved having you here. And then anybody on replay, any questions, comments, post them below. And but don't forget, Facebook Paralegal Break-In group. Okay, I have several groups, 2 that are private, but Paralegal Break-In group is one that is for people not in the legal field. Okay, and come join us. This is a good teaching. Okay, see you over there. Bye.